Yay!
And we're off. Right, okay.
We're back.
Okay.
Sorry that I had the civil stuff in order to that made us push to Saturday, but I don't know. Maybe this works out better for a few people. I don't know. I don't know the timing.
Sean's checking his nails again.
I'm not looking at the porn bit.
Oh yeah. It's
yes,
we've gone new naming convention this week. so we were going to have, I think, who asked for King? Sean. Yeah, they got porn. So it's repercussions state that. But anyway, all good. So okay, so this week, what we're going to show. So we've obviously shown little bits of ocean in the previous one, and we showed a little bit of the motor rig. Yeah. What can I say? I'm from south of England. We always get that wrong. Anyway, okay, so there's that. This time, we're going to be showing some admin stuff. So one of the things that we wanted to try to do was add features that would help you in running jobs, sort of quickly previewing renders, finding bits of old scenes and all those sort of things. So give you a set of admin tools that we're putting into 26. So we're going to be showing some of those later on, which Sean will take you through. I think we even have, I won't steal his thunder, so I'll let him surprise you with it. So we've got a bunch of stuff we're going to show you there on the admin side that is coming in 26, which I don't think we've mentioned at all until today. So that's something which hopefully will be useful to loads of you. We're going to also show the first sort of, and talk a little bit about SDF, which we're adding. We have a new, another liquid thing we're working on, so we'll show you a little very early preview of that. Some of the stuff is going to be there on launch. Some of the stuff is going to be later on in the year. Just thought I'd mention that. We also are going to be showing a little update to Construct. There's, I think we're only talking about the Color IO at last, but we're going to be talking about that a little bit as well. Then it's Sean, and then we've got one more thing we're going to mention that we're going to be working on longer term. Won't be ready till 27, but we're just going to mention it because it will undoubtedly be shown and possibly given to loads of you for testing. So we're just going to mention that so that we can start, you all know it's happening. And that's pretty much the lot, isn't it? So that's what we're showing today. So hopefully you'll like all the stuff we're going to be doing. Over to you.
Yeah, and understand too. I mean, it is one of those things I want to make aware that if you see any title bars, these are straight from the developers. So don't take anything into that. You can't trust build numbers and things when it comes from a developer's build because, well, a developer can do pretty much whatever he wants to with whatever code base he wants to. And so it's just,
well, they're all creating their own builds and sometimes don't update the headers. So sometimes what looks like it's that actually ends up having a load of stuff that isn't.
And this is one of those things too that I want to call attention that yes, what we're showing is primarily a lot of these are videos. They're not actually live demos that we're going to be doing from a build. Just take that with a grain of salt because that's one of those things that these are still in development. These are not 100% polished. These are not complete and ready. They're not complete, but we just wanted to show what we're working on and what's coming. And should I just, what do you think? Just jump right in?
If you're just adding to that, I mean, Juice absolutely 100% nailed that. And I think it is a case that most of the stuff we've been working on for months and months. So we know where it is, we know it's close, but we're not going to be showing same reason we haven't shown yet the interface for the moto rig and the Ocean, although I think I showed a little bit of Ocean's interface last time, but we try not to show the interface off until as late as we can. And I think we're aiming to show a load of the interface stuff on the 28th, I think. Juice, I think
we will see. We will see as we get closer. We will see. So one of the things that was initially mentioned was that, I don't know, maybe we're all wet behind the ears, but we tend to be currently we're messing around with Ocean, and of course then there's some of the other bits, and this is actually a preview of some of the newer work that's being done with fluid sims and particle work for dealing with. I mean, we don't really know at this point, where we're continuing with this. This might be flow 2. This could be something in addition or on top of, but this is working with some of the newer stuff that is, and this is GPU simulations for fluids.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I think with this one is there's still obviously stacks to do on meshing and all kinds of things to get this to be right. But in a way, flow is very, very good with viscous liquids. It can do more watery liquids, but it's exceptionally good with viscous sort of stuff. What we've got is Ocean then for the big sea, and what we want to try to do is create something that's able to do sort of medium-sized water. So you could do like a flooding down a underground system, or splashing, hitting something on a street, or something at that sort of level. So we don't know yet what sort of time scale this is, but this is where it's working at the moment. It's already working in LightWave, but there is obviously a load of work to do with how we go from particle to meshing and so on and so forth. So this will probably end up being later in the 26 cycle, but it is something we're looking at as likely. But we'll keep you informed on it. We just wanted to show you, just so we're working on that kind of stuff as well.
And this is one of those things too, that this enters into the trying to figure out what and how we can do to be cross-platform, to see as far as anything for the Mac, and not a whole other bailiwick gets opened up when you start looking at trying to do all of that. And that actually is going to kind of be a mention of toward the end of this particular visit that we have today, that we're going to be talking about, because we are working on some stuff. So let me come back to
Richard's name for that. So we've got Ocean, we've got Flow, and he's just suggested Moist Wave.
Moist Wave. Oh, Lord. I don't know.
Or just moist.
People don't like saying the word moist.
Moist.
But yes, Chris, we are totally thinking about you Mac guys.
Absolutely. Yeah.
A number of us have Macs, and H2 Agon. Lord, I do love that people still remember the Agon period of LightWave and everything, and Agon thing. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is we're going to kind of talk a little bit about some of the again, version 2. We're talking about some tools that we have that we want to move forward with and improve. And so what this is based in Construct. And Construct, as you know, is what we have named essentially our stair generator. But it's not just going to be there's going to be more to it. But what we're now talking about is the ability to use splines to control the shape of the staircases and stairways and things to allow for the creation of spiral staircases and everything that goes along with that. But it's not just spirals, because we are talking about using splines actually to control the shape. So it doesn't necessarily have to just be a spiral staircase. But we have added in, or we are in the process of adding in all of the bits and pieces that go along with doing what you are looking at here is not locked in. So while you are creating it, it's now we're talking about conforming to local building codes.
It's fluid as well. So it's so easy to edit the construct system. And I know, it's one of those things that is a fairly specialist thing that you may or may not use, but it is also one of the more difficult things to make from scratch, which obviously construct makes that really simple. So so this is just obviously the next logical upgrade to it, and I think it's fantastic what's coming on that. And again, I think we promised very much that we wouldn't just develop something and then stop. We would keep going with development, and then hopefully this sort of proves the principle.
So here, this is actually taking it out of the just spiral, and this is actually working with a spline. So, this is, again, it utilizes and can use the preset shelf. You can even, load in your own shapes for the rails and for the spindles and all of the everything here. This is showing the middle spine. It is an extension, I suppose. The thing about it is that this exists as a layout tool, it exists as a modeler tool, and it exists as geonodes. So it's one of those things that it plays with each of the different bits and pieces. So it's all in, what and where you wish to use it. So here you're grabbing the end point. So this gives you an idea of being able to manipulate the knots and adjust things as you go. And that's that particular one. So that was actually quite a long one. So that actually works pretty good. Let me find the button. And there we go. So we come back.
Yeah, very cool. I love that. Love that. So, yeah, brilliant.
So, okay. I'm going to I want to show something, and this I want you all to understand that okay. This is a hot button, and this is a hot topic. A lot of people have different feelings on it, and the different real-time adjustments in layout and modeler. You can manipulate things just in modeler as you are adjusting things. It's the same kind of workflows in layout and modeler. Construct actually exists in 25. I'm just saying, this isn't new for 26. This is an extension of the tool set in 25 that adds to that. So anyway, where I'm going is well, this is talking about LightWave and AI. One of the things that we are experimenting with, and some aspects could be in 26, but what this is showing is a connect with Claude, the Claude AI. And so what this is just saying, make a table out of cubes. And so what Claude then, because it is attached and understands LightWave. It says, hey, I'm going to create cubes to make it for speed. And there you go. A simple table is now made just from a command prompt. Now, how useful is this? Well, what we're talking about here is a lot of times you get those things where you are doing a function over and over and over again. And for some of us, it's fast and easy to pull out L script or to pull out Python and make a quick script. Some of us aren't so coder based, and so we wind up making like a macro that we run from a keyboard. Well, if we are using Claude, maybe we can use Claude to do that particular thing and make us a little tool right there for us. So this is, as we say, and as I want to really make you aware of, this is an experiment, and this is a getting our feet wet, as you say. There's so many different AI bits that we could plug into. Some of them are cross-platform, some of them are not cross-platform. So it's really just an experiment to see where we can go. And so that's kind of what we wanted to
just a quick thing on it. I think on the testing, he's been tested setting up a 3-point light system.
Yeah.
The simple model 3-point light system, some really cool things could just speed you up, and obviously we're at the very beginning of the curve. How much of that is going to be in 26? That one is a borderline one we're thinking about. We've just started on it. It certainly gives you an indication of we're on it, and we're going to be doing.
We're
stuff
experimenting. I mean, it is one of those things. I see a number of people here asking some questions and saying things like, make a fully rigged character. Does the AI create simple objects only? And then, of course, here, I'm not going to use AI. Well, it's one of those things none of us have to use it. Can you ask it to make it Lord of the Rings? Again, we are investigating. It's one of those things that we don't know completely where all and what all we can use it for. But for a lot of things, you're just day to day. Oh my goodness, I have hit a point where what I need to do is I need to find 2 points that are close in proximity. I need to merge all these, but I don't want to do it if there's 3, if there's only 2. You get into a whole bunch of, these type of situations where you might be able to vocalize what you want, but you don't have the savvy to code your own tool as a macro or as a helper. And this is just a helper, initially. Now,
yeah,
we can talk about, use of stable diffusion. We can talk about, many and assorted and sundry other things, but it's one of those things, again, we're just experimenting, and we want you to know, yes, we're looking into it and we're seeing what we can do. There you go. Chris Blythe, my buddy. Fix all my effed up devils on these damn fonts. There you go, right?
Yeah. Actually, ironically, fonts is something one of the things on the backlog of things we're looking at. So we don't know when that one's done, but it's on the list of things. It's
one of those things that if you had watched our video from last week, I showed the fillet tool, and where we showed that we could do a hard stop. I've started talking about, what could we do to maybe use that same kind of thing to keep bevels from going beyond, that type of a thing. So it's all interconnected. It's all there. I think I am to the point here of doffing my hat and handing it over to Sean the Pawn.
Can I just mention one more thing? Just while we're here.
Sure.
It was only, so let's go. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I know what you're going to. Yes. Good. That's good. The one thing that we should mention, and the only part of the reason for this is we found out someone was developing something that was already being developed in LightWave. So just to be absolutely clear, Color.io is being built into LightWave as we speak. So it's not a quick task, because obviously you want to have it throughout LightWave, right, as an option. That's your, everything from preview windows, everything. So it's something we've been working on for quite a while. So I think we've started looking at this at about February or March last year, and it's still being worked on now. So Color.io is coming. Again, it's one of the things we think will be a little bit later into the 26 cycle, but it will be coming. So
because it does touch so many aspects and so many areas of LightWave, you really want to make sure that it, that it's solid.
Yeah, we want it done right. Basically, we don't want it to be a half-baked, just a plug-in that converts everything, or just a, we want it to be able to be your workspaces. There's so many areas it's going to affect. So Color.io is definitely being worked on. It is definitely going to happen. It is coming. So sorry, bud, I didn't mean to butt in. I just thought I meant
not a problem. Not a problem.
I'm just trying to make Sean more nervous. Sort of. For all those who haven't seen Sean before, that's him. How scary is that?
Now you see why he hides behind pictures and doesn't turn his camera on.
Yeah, a little fluffy apparently. And so Sean, what do you got? Show us, my friend.
So I'll go ahead and bring you here. Yeah.
I got a light. No, that's not what I'm demonstrating. Image browsing, especially animation sequences, everything. Well, in fact, all your assets. I've got a new tool down here, which will be called Asset Browser or Asset Browser. Ignore this. That's just my debug window. We'll minimize that. And there we go. So here we have it. Basically, by clicking on there, it's synced to COM ports. So this is linked to layout.
Hang on 1 second, Sean. There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh,
you just bumped a little bit. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, I'll take it you must have seen. I've just launched this from layout. They're linked by COM port. Anyway, it's, as you can see, assets. It lets you browse them. That's an animation sequence which you can actually scrub in the thumbnail, which is very handy. IES lights, I might as well jump into those first. You can double click on them, preview them. You've got settings like distance away from the wall, so you can preview that.
Hang on 1 second, you're buffering a little bit there, Sean.
Really?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, temperatures. So that's IES lights. Scenes. When you browse a scene, if I double click on a scene file, it won't open it. It will actually show you all the images associated with that scene.
One second there, Sean. There we okay. So now we go. So all the images associated with that scene you are now seeing.
Yeah. So that's browsing a scene file. Hang on, I need to go back. You can also, I'll just not do that one. That'll take forever. Launch a scene from here. It'll automatically. Oh, that's probably because I moved the light. It'll automatically load the scene. So you can see that. Oh, that's the wrong one. It's that one. And back here as well, if I go to the render folder, that's actually the render that rendered that, that was rendered from that scene. If I right mouse click on it, oh, need to go in, sorry. Right mouse click on the actual sequence. I can auto link it. And what it's done is it's searched the scene file out, looked for the file name, and matched the scene for it. So now if I, load leap scene in layout, it'll load that very scene that created that render.
Just to go back on that, Sean, that is actually very clever. That's really cool. So it means if you've lost where you put stuff, but you've got the render, you can effectively reverse it into the scene.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying, right?
And you can actually play the image sequences, the rendered image sequences.
Yeah, and you can view the alphas. Yeah, we can change the background color, in case you want a blue screen. Well, that's actually not blue screen. But yeah, so that's all in there. There are color corrections. I don't know whether you can see them on screen. So you can bit sensitive. Color saturation. For some reason, I can't get that to work. If I adjust it, the playback just gets sluggish. But everything else will work live. And got a little reset button down here.
Just to be clear on the saturation, it works. It's just slow. So
yeah. It needs to pre-bake. The other options as well, which I saw on Discord, someone was saying, I can export sequences, but I need to load into blah blah blah. Well, you don't have to. I open this folder right now. Actually, I can just click on that there. We've got export to MP4 movie. You can, or MOV, sorry. ProRes. That requires a bit of user setup because you have to install some libraries, but all the instructions are actually in the setup anyway. So that will export that as a movie file in ProRes. Obviously frames per second. Got image enhancement, which is a bit of an experiment at the moment, so I'm not sure that's going to still be there. We got the OIDN denoiser.
Is this using FFmpeg encoding?
Sorry?
Is this indeed using FFmpeg encoding?
I didn't understand a word of that.
All right.
No, so the FFmpeg encoding.
That deals with the ProRes, and this is all FFmpeg encoding, sort of denoising here, which has got temporal. But to be honest with me, experiments with this, I'm not sure whether it's going to work. I don't know why this ain't working. It should have been working.
That's right. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's all good.
Probably where I changed something, it's changed something else, and then knock-on effect. Something about the file browsing as well. Deuce actually brought up. You've got a search there, so the normal thing. You type in, PNG and search. Oops, I missed out the star. I do apologise.
I think you've got a gap there as well.
I have, haven't I? Let's start again. Oops.
Cool.
Oh, that did not work.
Sean, what about comparing render versions? Is there?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Could this potentially be a feature? Does it allow comparing render versions A, B? In other words, you do version 1 and then you do another version 2 so that you can compare. Is that something you might consider?
Not yet, but yeah, I plan on doing. You basically mean layers. So when you click in here, you can put a layer under here and turn one off. That's coming. I've obviously got a code for that yet. It's just a basic single player at the moment.
I mean, to answer the question, I think there is. Yeah, I mean, if you guys, if you want to have an A/B comparison between two renders, I'm sure Sean could work on that and maybe potentially add that as well. Whether that gets in the next version,
Well, we can actually do that. We can actually do that currently in LightWave as far as doing an F9 comparison, because we have the two buffers. So long as you don't kill one, you can do a comparison between the two.
Yeah.
But this is talking about long since rendered. I'm revisiting the scene. I need to do something. Maybe I want to do a compare between what I'm doing today and what I rendered a week ago.
Yeah, and the other thing as well, images. Don't know why that search ain't working. I probably need to check that again. You got, if I click scan subfolders, it'll literally show everything that is in that folder as single thumbnails. So effectively, everything that's highlighted in yellow is in a subfolder. But hang on, I'll just go back over here, clear this. So we've got an empty scene there. If I select that image, that image, that image, and not that image, that's a sequence, and that. Right mouse click, open 4 images in layout. It sent them to layout. So that's done, and it will do the same with objects as well. So if I, grab this object.
Hang on 1 second there, Sean. All right, you're back.
Oh, and if I send that object to layout, it will load that object. And I've probably picked a big object, haven't I? No, I haven't. And there we go. So yeah, you can send objects, images, and open scene files at the moment. I'm working on a solution for IES lights that will need to be fire up a plugin in layout itself to add them to lights, be it Octane or whatever. So what we sorry,
that's cool. It's very, very good.
HDRDIs, you've obviously got exposure and all that, so you can view them, zoom in, zoom out. There's also a slideshow button, which is, well, I'll probably never use it, but it's there. But you can either view everything as a grid or as a list. And again, that's not supposed to happen either. It's gone dark. Sure, I reckon this is because I'm actually running a executed compiled version. It's just compiled with bugs, because all of this I tested this morning and it was working fine, and now it doesn't.
Okay, so good.
Yeah, clearly got a compile error. I apologise. But then that's part of the fun, isn't it? Up here you can configure external apps, bring that in the middle, so you can connect it to Adobe Photoshop. That's where you set the FFmpeg, so you can export ProRes and whatnot, and also a custom movie player if you've got any movie files in there.
You can preview EXRs, right?
EXRs, yeah.
I thought
there's some in here somewhere.
Yeah, you actually had some earlier on the earlier. There you go, EXRs.
Yeah. Obviously, that one's going to be a bit slower because it's 8K, but yeah. Oops. Yeah, you got shift and select so you can zoom into areas. It's all there. Running a bit clunky at the moment, but
well, it's an 8K image. Don't worry.
No, I'm not worried. But yeah, that's that. There's lots more still being added, so when you guys get your mitts on it, it'll be a little bit more different. So yeah, the next one, this one's been a nightmare to get to work. It's basically you set up an FTP folder. I can't spell. So you set up your FTP folder where it is and all that stuff. People are going to copy and paste that, but you can't see my password. And yeah, so this will connect to a server. And what you can do is you can actually set up watch folders. So when it's connected, say the people you're working with, your team and all that, they'll have this running on this end. So as they work on a scene or a render or whatever, it'll start uploading all the files to the FTP. Now, the idea is you can set up a render going, walk away, knowing full well as each frame gets spat out, it's being uploaded straight away to an FTP folder that everyone else on your team can access. And that's all done through a very basic sort of setting up some rules, setting up a watch folder. In this case, I'm watching that one, and it'll upload it there. So if I come back here and click that on, it should start. It's uploading. There we go. So that is now syncing my work folder onto the FTP, and that works vice versa as well. You can set that up so you can watch a folder on the FTP. If someone uploads files to it, it'll then download to yours. Does that make any sense?
Someone's just put up there a LightWave Opus, and I suppose yes is the answer. So it is kind of like an Opus for LightWave, really. So the FTP bit is particularly useful, I think, if you're doing animation where you've got 4 or 5 remote people all being seen. The ability to have an FTP client just basically coming with LightWave that you just set up, send them the client, you basically can set it up in minutes and then do basically peer-to-peer transfers. It's going to speed up the workflow. It's better than using something like Teams, which is dog slow, or it's like WeTransfer. I mean, I used to have a really big link. I've now got a tiny link at home, and basically WeTransfer, a good 30% of the time I use it, it crashes. Mainly because I'm sending over 2 gig files at a time. The thing with the FTP option is that basically now that will be with LightWave, you don't have that issue. You just can do it on FTP. And I've been using an FTP basically for the last week with Sean on another job, and that's been remarkably reliable. So anyway, just thought I think that's an amazing thing you've added there, Bud, and yeah, very, very good. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Just wanted to chip in.
Yeah, I was just gonna. Yeah, that's what that should have looked like. This is the uncompiled version. It's basically the raw version, so it's probably not got the bugs the other one had. Let's try that search actually. Yeah, it's still not working, is it? Oh, that was working the other day. Oh, good grief. You need to include subfolders. Oh my God.
No, that's all right.
User error.
And
so yeah, that's showing all the PNGs in that project. Of course, there's none in the root folder. It ain't going to find any, is it?
And that is why you are pawn, not king.
Yeah.
You're off my Christmas card list.
And also, but I mean, remember, it's the first time you've done a live demo, so it's it's much harder doing it live than when you're practicing.
Especially when Deuce keeps interrupting you. Stuff.
Yeah,
I've got stuff.
We're going to jump on you anyway, so just for fun.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, I think I've covered everything actually on this now.
No, I think you've done the lot, but I think it's. Oh, yeah. Actually, while we're at it, can I just mention there is we obviously this is something we're just working on, but a very good friend of ours, Billy Brooks, has been programming something as well, which Sean organised for us a chat with him, and it's called Sentinel, and that basically is a I shouldn't really use the phrase, but it's basically, if any of you have worked in pro environments, you probably used Shotgun or one of those sort of tools, like a project management tool. And so very kindly, basically Billy's working with Sean on putting together like our very own Shotgun, and it's called Sentinel. So whether we do it as Sentinel LW or Sentinel, I don't know, I don't know what we'll do, but that is a very good chance that'll be coming as well in 26. So so not only do you have those management tools, we're working on project management tools for people to use as well, to help them when you're working with multiple animators, managing the shots, putting comments for each shot, adding things like client comments, etc., for each shot. So it's Sentinel driver. No. It effectively it will end up hopefully being a full set of management tools and sort of control tools that will help you. By the way, this all stemmed from initially Juice wanted to have, which is what this is going to be part of, is when you open LightWave, eventually we'll have a kiosk, and that kiosk system will have all these things in. So they'll have all the management tools at the very beginning, including launching LightWave, right? And the idea of that is that you can prep everything you want, set up what you've got to get done, and then launch LightWave all from a kiosk. That eventually, our aim is to take that even further. Actually, I won't mention what we're going to do with that because that's part of our long-term plan. But it is this is very much all part of that process that we planned 2 years ago, and Sean's really brought it to fruition, I think, exceptionally well. And obviously, you're seeing just the beta version of it, and obviously it will have proper title bars and all those sort of things done. But Sean has done an amazing job and actually some of the suggestions you guys have put, I'm sure Sean will look through that and think about, oh yeah, I think we can add that, or that might take another couple of months. Just dropping you in it, Sean. And and effectively, it's the start of a suite of tools that will just help you in production, which I think is going to be really good. So so really well done, Sean, and obviously thanks to Billy as well for helping and suggesting things, and also just being involved. Billy's one of the busiest guys I know, and for Billy just to spend the time, sort of helping us is fantastic. So I just thought I'd mention that, just really a call out. So that's you. You good, Sean? You've shown everything, Bud. You wanted to show?
Well, I was going to no. Yeah, that's it.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So we've got one more thing.
Yeah, I've got one more thing that's super duper fun. It's a super
duper fun tool.
Super duper fun tool. So let me just I've got a couple of things here to show, and we can talk about this, because this again is one of those. It's one of those things you have to understand. This is still early, and still a thing to use. So here's our first look at it. This is well, this is SDF. This is
blobby McBlobby.
This is SDF modeling, essentially, live in layout. So we are mixing and blending 3 shapes. We're mixing and blending 3 surfaces, 3 materials, and this is so unique of a tool set, and it's really been a challenge as far as how to deal with the ability, the controlling of these different shapes, because you can blend between them, you can subtract between them, you can you have all of the Boolean functions and things, and as you watch this, you can even see that the blending between the 2 shapes is animated as well. So at certain points, it's really a smooth transition between them, and at other times, as that value changes, it drops down and goes away. I've got a couple of others here to show.
Can I just chip in very quickly? Obviously SDF, just so any of you aren't familiar, it's not using polygons, it's pure maths, right? So it's incredibly fast. So when you are playing with it, you literally play with it in real time. You move an object across another object, it will blend in real time, cut out in real time. So the implications for it, for animation, and for sort of having really complex pieces of animation made are incredible. And it will merge complex surfaces again, all in real time. So yes, someone's just saying there, is it anything like Metaballs? Yes, but imagine you can do that with any shape, any object. It's not just balls, it's objects. So you can do full SDF objects, which can be super complex. You could have a full modeled character. You could have a piece of engineering done as an SDF, and then you can then cut through that instantly. And so it is it's an amazing tool set that we've been putting together for quite a while. We've obviously waited till now to show it to you, but you can see the level of smoothness and complexity you're able to control. Again, one of the things I should mention, one of the things about this is several packages have SDF, but it is how you implement it to get the capability with it, and it's being done so well on what we've seen of it so far, and what we're playing with it so far. It is going to have a major impact to how you model and animate things. And it can obviously be mixed with polygon models as well. And I do believe, Juice, can't we? I think we can say we have the potential to save out as a polygon model. Is that right?
Yes. Well, one of the absolute end results is, yes, this can stay as an SDF and you can render it and this, that, and the other. But one of the things that we know full well for several other reasons other than just, the simplistic is, yes, we want to be able to take that to a mesh and take that mesh and even have it so that you can, decimate and retopologize and bring that into Modeler so that you can take it into Octane so that you can, take it out to STL and 3D print it, any of a jillion of other things. So we knew full well that everybody would want to take this to a mesh as at least as an option. Maybe certain projects don't need it, but we knew that you would want to have it to go to a mesh.
Yeah, it is, by the way, also.
And yes, that would be non-destructive modeling.
Yes, basically. So it's I didn't mean to butt in when you were talking about, but I just wanted to sort of lose my shit how good that was. But the cool thing with it is again, that is in 26, so that's going to be in there. We're not showing off the interface for it yet. I mean, the interface is nodal and
well, it's actually nodal. It's nodal and list, which is crazy because you can see the parent chain hierarchy in a list, but then you can also pop it open and you can see the nodes, the node tree as well. So it's doing both at the same time. But it is one of the things that some of the things that are coming are handles and the ability to move the things around, because currently it's all very, very techie, typey, math and things. And certainly we didn't want to have that as the end.
I'd actually be very hard pressed to do that at that speed in Houdini.
Yeah,
it blows that out of the water,
Yeah,
so I'm blown away.
It is it's a very good implementation of it, I think, and I think. We're that was one of the really big things. So right back at the beginning, I was saying there's some really cool things coming, which we want to show you, but we haven't mentioned really until now. And I think we just wanted to show you that now. We will show off more of that later towards the end of the month, hopefully. But it's a major thing to have in LightWave. But it isn't just about having it just for the namesake. It's about how we've implemented it. It's super cool. And if you think about a lot of the tools in the nodal side, which I know nodes are a very hard thing to get into, but the power of what we've got with the nodes working with that, it gives it unbelievable power for the SDL. So it's going to be, it's going to be amazing. SDF, sorry.
One thing here that we're talking about denoising. There's a number of things that are in process that deal with denoising. I know that there have been a couple of people working on new systems because obviously, we leverage from other avenues and other developments. And certainly there have been a number of advancements in the last few years that have, provided with better systems for doing denoising. And I know that a lot of people have expressed the wish. And I know that there's some plugins that are actually being developed right now, both internally, externally, other people. So I would say for that, just keep an eye out, because you never know. You never know where it's going to land.
So again, just a quick recap on that. When we were talking about this being one of the biggest updates LightWave's had, it's huge. As far as the render engine go and denoising goes and improving the render engine, we obviously did a batch of that in 25 to basically get the sampling system to work considerably better, to make the renders much cleaner, to make therefore the renders much faster. So we've done quite a bit of work already. There is another set of changes that we might be able to do in the 26 cycle. And the only reason we're not talking about them as definite yet is we've got to work out the implications of what we do when we implement them. But we know that will speed up the whole interface dramatically, and that includes obviously things like rendering everything. So so there are things we are looking at. We'll come back to you on that, but we are thinking about those things all the time. So some of it's timing. Do you remember we mentioned, I think, two or three shows ago, that there comes a point where people who are the older users of LightWave are going to have to update their machines and have a more modern graphic card. And that's exactly for us to do the things we want to do to speed up the interface in general. We're going to have to make that call at some point. So that is something we're talking about, and we'll obviously keep you informed at what point we're going to do that. However, everything we're currently showing, I think are pretty much, I mean, all of that's going to be in the 26 cycle. There is one thing which we were going to mention, which I'll leave you to choose, which is for later, but we are going to mention.
Now, this is another hot issue. This is another hot button. This is another word that will trigger people, and we're used to it. And that is, but what I want to do is I want to temper this. I want to temper this by saying we want to do it right. We want to do it proper. By saying that, I want to give, clear indication that this is not a 26 feature. But I could also see, though, during the 26 cycle, potentially testing this with certain groups. And that is to say, we have been actively working on, actively moving forward with a Linux version of LightWave. I will pause for effect.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
The thing about it is that it's even. I remember when we released an LWSN version of LightWave 8 for Linux, and all of 5 people downloaded it. So it is one of those things that the proper distribution to choose changes seemingly every year. So we really want to make sure that we get in touch with all the studios that have been, commenting. Yes, Chris, I know. I remember, dude. Yeah. I remember.
We all 5 people. And,
so the thing is that it does make proper sense for, not necessarily for little Johnny down on the corner, but maybe little Trevor, who likes to build his own computers and hack his own kernel and this, that, and the other. But it does make good sense for people of studio, where you have 200 workstations. You're not necessarily wanting to spend 200 times the price tag for Windows or something. Or people who have a render farm and they, don't want to, again, that it's that cost of the OS for all of the systems. So we know that it's important, but it's so important to get third-party developers on board, to let them know what our plans are, to know what distribution we're wanting to use. So we're trying to kind of make this announcement here and to say that during this coming year, see Linux as a thing, and we'll be testing, and we're probably targeting a 27 for a full Linux version. Yeah,
and we have been working on it. I mean, as Stu said, we've been working on it for a while. again, it's a lot of research about which one to use, which type, which flavor to use. When there's so many,
and it
things
changes so much,
Wow.
in the base of LightWave itself, that it is one of those things that this can be a springboard for a number of things. It can be a springboard for looking at newer, more updated X and newer, more updated Y. But it's one of those things that we have to take it proper. We have to take proper steps so that we don't shoot ourselves in our own foot.
Yep. So I think that's the lot, isn't it? So I just give a quick run through.
Sure, give a quick run through for today. And
okay, so there's obviously the AI we're testing for modeling, scene setups, those sort of things. We're testing that. When we decide to implement that, we're not sure. We just wanted to show you that we were doing it. Obviously, the SDF. I think you showed how many? Did you show all 3 videos there, Bud?
I showed all 3, yes.
Oh, awesome. So the SDF again, we will be showing how that works fully later. It works really great. It's still being developed, but it's an amazing implementation of it. Particle liquid. That's again very early days. But it again is working really well. So we've got the small liquids and the viscous liquids. We've got the ocean and then the middle liquids. Stop.
When someone jumps up in the back of the room and keeps screaming, I think
it was the last thing we were going to mention, wasn't it, today? So
right.
Let me finish my list, and then we'll.
SDF should run on Mac. Yes, it is not using any kind of.
No. It's absolutely, yeah. Well, as I think we were saying on the particle side, we're also trying to make sure that if we do something that works on the Mac as well. So you may not get fluid, which is the viscous liquid, but we are trying to sort out something for a really good fluid system that either sits alongside that or replaces that, but it will be hopefully both. Obviously, the construct update, which is the spiral staircases and the spline control, unbelievably good. Color IO's coming definitely, just to confirm it. You've seen Sean's management tools, and obviously we've mentioned Billy and been very kind for us with the Sentinel project management tools. There's the FTP tool, asset browser, and yeah, okay. So, and obviously from the past, we've shown the motor rig, boat and ocean, and we're going to be doing wake and those sort of things. So already that's a massive amount, and there's still more to come. So,
and I want to step in here real quick too and say, I want to make sure that you understand that these shows that we're doing, we're trying to show the features, we're trying to show the new stuff, but I understand that everybody will come in here and start start asking questions about, what about this bug fix? Well, what about fixing this? Well, what about fixing that? What about fixing this? Fixes will happen. Fixes will be looked into. But what we're trying to do with these shows is to show the features. We're trying to show the new stuff.
Yeah, and just to chip in on that a little bit, we fixed hundreds of fixes on the last build, right? So it's not, we are doing fixes constantly, but just bear in mind, every time we add stuff, every time we refine stuff, you get a whole load of other stuff that sometimes breaks that we miss. Now that's always been the case of LightWave ever since it first got released standalone. So you create stuff, by the very nature of you adding stuff, it also breaks stuff sometimes which you miss. So it's always been a case that's happened with LightWave throughout history of using it. It's no different here, but we very, very much are fixing bugs at a pretty hefty rate on a fairly regular basis. And there are situations also, we hit something where it wasn't particularly well implemented the first time round. We try to fix it, it's okay, and then you realize really you've got to go back and maybe do that again from scratch. That then takes a bit longer to do. So it's a complex thing. A piece of software like this with hundreds and hundreds of plugins within it, and I mean, probably thousands of things that inside there. It is very difficult, capturing everything every single time. And we've got a great set of beta testers, but nonetheless, they do tend to check in just the areas they want to check, not necessarily everything. So things get missed. But we do try to respond, or at least get most fixes done as quickly as we possibly can. And certainly mission critical ones we do normally very fast. Should we go on to onto the next things like the? Shall I just quickly cover those, or do you want to cover those? What we're going to show next week, hopefully.
Well, one thing I'll just take a fast thing here and say, as a reminder, that Black Friday pricing is still going on until November 1st, or I'm sorry, until December 1st. So we're like in the middle of the Black Friday pricing. So make sure if you're seeing things that you really want to do, make sure to get in on that. So just wanted a reminder. Right. Black Friday pricing is still going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have a slightly longer run this time that we put up for this, but part of the reason we put up the longer run is there were people last time who missed it, and therefore it was then, should we extend it? Do we let that person buy it? This time it's long enough that you've got that limit. At the end of that limit, it goes back to normal pricing, right? So do try to get your updates in, your update price, purchases as soon as possible. So for next time, and I'm just mentioning this, one of them is very, very specific, where everything's working on Chronosculpt 2026. It's we've just got to get that compiled so we can demo it. We're hoping to have that maybe next week if we're lucky. So that's Chronosculpt. It isn't Chronosculpt 2. We're calling it Chronosculpt 2026. All right? So the naming convention with all the plugins will be based on the version of release, as opposed to being an individual item that you can buy.
Right. So it's part of LightWave. It's going to use the same license. All of that. So it's
We might also have, we've already got it working again, but something we might show next week will be Ripper 2026 as well, which has had quite a few updates. So we're hoping to get that for you then. And we'll also have, it will also have an implementation, hopefully, to be able to show of USD potentially next week as well. So just for all those who are in the pro side, obviously USD, OpenColor.io, and the Linux are all things that are pointing to studio use more than individual use, but they are obviously very important to us. We get them very well implemented, so that's why I'm just mentioning the USD as well. So that's Juice. Anything to add? We good?
I think we're good. I think this is it. I think we did it.
Sean, you good?
Yep, I'm good.
Good. So that's it, guys. That's this week's
little show,
I suppose. Yeah.
So, providing I don't get called to another jury, we'll see you next week. But it is one of those.
You told me you were in the box, not jury.
Yeah. We almost didn't get him back. No, it's. So I don't know whether we're doing Friday or Saturday next week, but we'll let you know.
We'll let you know. I mean, it's one of those things. I see some people say Friday is better. I see some people say Saturday is better. So I've even heard Thursdays are better. I have no idea, but it's one of those things that, here in Texas, it's 6 months for jury duty. So every we'll see. Currently, it's scheduled for Friday at the standard time. But if something changes, we'll certainly make you aware and get everything out there.
Cool. We good?
And Juan, I see you. I see you. Make sure you get in touch with me, and we'll see what we can do, because 2019 works on my Windows 11 here, with a 3060, not a problem. So I don't know what issue you're having. So get with me and we will see what we can do. But I tell you, we can't fix 2019. You would have to upgrade to whatever. But whatever the issue is, I can test it here and we can see what we got. And if you can't remember Deuce at lightwave3d.com, there's something wrong. So if you can't remember my email address, there's something wrong. So.
And just to be clear, I have no idea what we're going to name ourselves next week. Won't be chess pieces, will it? I don't know. I don't know what we'll do next week.
I don't know.
I'm going to be in charge of that this time.
Oh, dear.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
It'd be profanity.
Okay, guys. I think that's it.
Planet name. Yeah, okay.
Planet
I'll
name.
be Uranus. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Oh, Uranus. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right. All right, guys. Big hug. Look after yourself. Have a careful, safe week, and I hope you enjoyed what you saw this week and obviously last week. And
bye.
Ow. All right, guys. Yeah, have a really good time. All right, big hug. Bye.